This guy saved a she-wolf, and a year later she saved his life. When a person crosses paths with a wolf in the forest, the outcome is often unfortunate for either the human or the animal. However, one such encounter turned into an extraordinary act of salvation for both a lone she-wolf and a man. This is a remarkable tale of kindness and loyalty, one that is sure to leave you deeply moved. One day, as a man made his way home through the forest, he heard strange sounds resembling the whimpers of a wounded dog. Following the noise, he soon came upon a she-wolf caught in a trap. From her exhausted state, it was clear she had been struggling for hours. As he stepped closer, he noticed something even more alarming. This wolf had recently given birth. Her pups were still nursing, but there was no sign of them anywhere. The pups were likely hiding nearby, too frightened to come out, while the exhausted she-wolf lacked the strength to call for them. The man hesitated, unsure of what to do. Though the wolf was weak, he knew that a wounded animal, driven by fear and instinct, could still be dangerous. Yet he couldn't simply walk away, knowing that somewhere in the forest, her helpless pups were at risk of starving to death. The only idea that came to him was to cup his hands around his mouth and mimic a wolf's howl. Having spent his life near the forest, he was familiar with animal behavior and had even learned to imitate the sounds of birds and other creatures. He howled for nearly a minute, his voice echoing through the trees, but there was no sign of the pups. He was ready to give up and go home. But suddenly, the leaves on the bushes rustled, and 3 tiny wolf cubs, no more than a month old by the looks of it, cautiously emerged from the thicket. They were unsteady on their little paws, clearly very frightened, but hunger eventually drove them out. They approached their mother and eagerly began to drink her milk. However, the man continued to worry about the fate of these little ones. He understood that their mother was very weak and might not survive until morning. If that happened, her children would be doomed. The man decided to spend the night in the forest to ensure that the wolf family was not harmed. He hoped that by morning, he would come up with a way to help them. He woke up with the first rays of the sun, fearing most that the she-wolf had not survived the night. But fortunately, he saw that she was still breathing, albeit very weakly. The she-wolf opened her eyes. It was clear that she wouldn't have the strength to attack when the man touched her and her pups. Moreover, it seemed she didn't want to do that. Wolves are very intelligent animals after all. So she understood that since this man had not harmed her or her children while they slept, he could be trusted. The man pried open the trap and freed the wolf's paw. After that, the entire family slowly made their way into the depths of the forest. The man had done everything he could, yet he couldn't shake his concern for the wolves he had saved. The she-wolf had been so weak, he could only hope she had survived. For a year, he walked the same path home through the forest, but he never saw any sign of the wolves. Then, one day, as he followed his usual route, he suddenly froze. A massive bear stood directly in his path. Panicked, the man bolted and scrambled up a tree. But he knew all too well, bears could climb too. Desperation set in as he searched for a way out. Then, without thinking, he did the only thing that came to mind. Cupping his hands around his mouth, he let out a long, echoing howl, just as he had done a year ago when calling the wolf pups. He wasn't even sure what he was hoping for, but it was his only chance. Suddenly, 4 wolves emerged from the forest. There was no doubt they were the same she-wolf and her now fully grown pups. Without hesitation, they lunged at the bear, driving it away before vanishing once more into the depths of the wilderness. In that moment, the wolves had repaid kindness with kindness. A year after the man had saved them, they, in turn, had saved him from certain death. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.